Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good morning everyone, and welcome to our presentation. It's an honor to have the opportunity to address a distinguished audience. Before we start the presentation, let me introduce our members. Here is Amanda Oktafira, Farhan Fajar Fadhilah, Shalsabila Nurfazila, Taniani Alginta, and I, Aan Anissa, as moderator to guide the presentation this time. And in our presentation, there are four main parts: definition of academic writing, type academic writing, characteristic academic writing, and things that are not include academic writing. To streamline time, just go straight for the first part will be read by mine. Definition: academic writing is a formal style of writing used in universities and scholarly publications. You will encounter it in journal articles and books on academic topics, and you will be expected to write your essay, research paper, and dissertation in academic style. Academic writing follows the same writing process as other types of text, but it has specific convocation in terms of context, structure, and style.
Type of academic writing: 1. Essay, 2. Research paper, 3. Thesis or dissertation, 4. Research proposal, 5. Literature review, 6. Lab report, 7. Annotated bibliography. Academic writing is 1. Formal and unbiased. Academic writing aims to cover information in an impartial way. The goal is to base argument on the evidence under consideration, not the author's preconception. All claims should be supported with relevant evidence, not just assert. Example: false. Also, a lot of the findings are a little unrelatable. True. Moreover, many of the findings are somewhat unreliable.
Okay, next is clear and precise. It's important to use clear and precise language to ensure that your readers know exactly what you mean. This means being as specific as possible and avoiding vague language. For the false is people have been interested in this thing for a long time. For the true is researchers have been interested in this phenomenon for at least 10 years. Avoid hedging your claim with words like perhaps, as this can give the impression that you lack confidence in your arguments. Reflect on your word choice to ensure that it accurately and directly conveys your meaning. The false is this could perhaps suggest that blah blah blah, and the true is this suggests that. Specialist language or jargon is common and often necessary in academic writing, which generally targets an audience of other academics in related fields. However, jargon should be used to make your writing more concise and accurate, not to make it more complicated. A specialist term should be used when, first, it conveys information more precisely than a comfortable non-specialist term. The second, your reader is likely to be familiar with your term. Third, the term is commonly used by other researchers in your field. Okay, the third is a focused and well-structured. An academic text is not just a collection of ideas about a topic. It needs to have a clear purpose. Start with a relevant research question or thesis statement and use it to develop a focused argument. Only include information that is relevant to your overall purpose. A coherent structure is crucial to organize your ideas. Pay attention to structure at 3 levels: the structure of the whole text, paragraph structure, and sentence structure.
And the next is a overall structure. Always include an introduction and a conclusion. Divide longer text into chapters or sections with clear headings. Make sure information is present in a logical order. And B is paragraph structure. Start a new paragraph when you move into a new ID. Use a topic sentence at the start of each paragraph to indicate what it's about and make clear transition between paragraphs. Make sure every paragraph is relevant to your argument or question. And C, sentence structure. Use transition words to express the connection between different ID with and between sentences. Use appropriate to avoid sentence fragments or run-on sentence. Use a variety of sentence length and structure. And the next is 4. Well search. Academic writing use search to support its claim. Search are other text or median object like photograph or film that the author analysts use as advice. Many of your sources will be written by other academics. Academics writing is collaborative and build or preface research. And in this text, citation elsewhere, it has been argued that the method is the best currently available. Smith 2019, p25. Reference list Smith J. 2019 Statistical Analysis Method, 2nd New York. And the next is 5. Correct and consistent. As well as following the rules of grammar, punctuation, and citation, it's important to consistently apply statistic convention regarding. And the first, how to write numbers. And 2, introduction, abbreviation. And 3, using verb tense is differentiation. And 4, capitalization of terms and headings. And the 5 and the last, spelling and pronunciation difference between UK and US English.
Academic writing is not first personal. Academic writing generally tries to avoid being too personal. Information about the author may come in at some points, for example, in the acknowledgements or in a personal reflection, but for the most part, the text should focus on the research itself. Always avoid addressing the reader directly with the second person pronoun you. Use the impersonal pronoun one or an alternate phrasing instead for generalization. False. As a teacher, you must treat your student fairly. True. As a teacher, one must treat one's students fairly. True. Teachers must treat their students fairly. The use of the first person pronoun I used to be similarly discouraged in academic writing, but it is increasingly accepted in many fields. If you're unsure whether to use the first person, pay attention to conventions in your field or ask your instructor. When you refer to yourself, it should be for good reason. You can position yourself and describe what you did during the research, but avoid arbitrarily inserting your personal thoughts and feelings. False. In my opinion. False. I think that. False. I like or dislike. True. I conducted interviews with. True. I argue that. True. I hope to archive. Second, long-winded. Many students think their writing as an academic analyst is overcomplicated and long-winded. This isn't a good approach. Instead, I am to be as concise and direct as possible. If a term can be cut or replaced with a more straightforward one without affecting your meaning, it should be. Avoid redundant phrasing in your text and try replacing phrasal verbs with their one-word equivalents where possible. False interest in this phenomenon carried on in the year 2018, true interest in this phenomenon continued in 2018. Repetition is a part of academic writing, for example, summarizing earlier information in the conclusion, but it's important to avoid unnecessary repetition. Make sure that none of your sentences are repeating a point you've already made in different words. Less emotive and grandiose. An academic text isn't the same thing as a literary, journalistic, or marketing text, though you're still trying to be persuasive. A lot of techniques from this style are not appropriate in an academic context. Specifically, you should avoid appeals to emotion and inflated claims. Though you may be writing about a topic that's sensitive or important to you, the point of academic writing is to clearly communicate idea, information, and argument, not to inspire an emotional response. Avoid using emotive or subjective language. False, this horrible tragedy was obviously one of the worst catastrophes in construction history. True, the injury and mortality rates of this accident were among the highest in construction history. Students are sometimes tempted to make the case for their topic with exaggerated, unsupported claims and flowery language. Stick to specific, grounded arguments that you can support with evidence, and don't overstate your point. False, Charles Dickens is the greatest writer of the Victorian period, and his influence on all subsequent literature is enormous. True, Charles Dickens is one of the best-known writers of the Victorian period and has had a significant influence on the development of the English novel.
That's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you. Bye-bye.